Welcome back to the Sommelier Corner. My name's David Horn. I'm your sommelier as well as your realtor here in Park City, Utah. This month we will be talking about a phenomenal Riesling. It is the Trimbach Riesling. It's coming to you from Alsace, France. A little bit of history about Alsace. It was actually occupied by Germany at various points and is currently a part of France, and was even before it was occupied by Germany as well. So one really neat thing is their cuisine has kind of a hybrid between the two, and their wines as well. Alsace is actually really well known for their white wines, which is unique. And they have 4 noble grape varieties that are all whites: Riesling, Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, and Muscat. Riesling is widely regarded as the king of Alsace because of its style. It's widely made and is just heavily respected coming from that area. Last year around this time, I did do a Riesling review as well. That one was on a German Cabernet Riesling, Jojo Pruum. And that one had a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of residual sugar. In Alsace, they actually make them in a dry style. Some of them will be off dry, but generally you will find them in the dry style. Now, a part of that is the climate. The Vosges Mountains are to the west of Alsace, and then the Rhine River is to the east. The Vosges Mountains actually creates a rain shadow effect in Alsace, and it's actually something that you can find here in the US that I'll tell you about in a moment. What that does is essentially the clouds get stuck, if you will, on the Vosges Mountains, and all the rain exhausts itself in the mountains, and so it's a very arid desert-style climate over in Alsace. A similar area here in the US would be Walla Walla, Red Mountain, Yakima, all up in Washington State. I know most people, when they think about Washington, they think of a very wet Seattle and everything on the coast there. But as you move to the east, Eastern Washington is actually very dry and very much a desert. It's similar to us here in Park City, actually. We're technically a high mountain desert here. So what that means, though, is the vines struggle. You get very concentrated flavors from the grapes as a result, but it also creates what's called a diurnal shift. So you have endless sunshine through the summer days. It's very late in the day before the sun actually goes down. When it does go down, though, the temperature drops drastically, creating that diurnal shift. What that does is it kind of shocks the grapes and puts them into a little bit of a hibernation. So they take all that sunlight they got through the day and they use that to keep themselves up through the evening. So it creates a very balanced type of ripening process on these grapes. At the end of the day, what that means is that you're going to have very concentrated flavors, very nice, perfectly ripe grapes. One of the differences that you'll notice between an Alsatian Riesling and a German Riesling is that it is, once again, it's bone dry. There's no sugar. They're both considered super aromatic. This wine, I was holding it a moment ago and I could smell it from the glass without even putting my nose to it. You've got beautiful white flowers and gingered honey. You got apricots and nectarine and white peaches, all just pouring out of the glass with some white flowers. So just very nice, beautiful wine, just kind of pops out of the glass for you. It is great at all parts of the day or meal. You could have it as an aperitif, you could have it with some cheese to get started, or you could even have it with your meal or afterwards. It pairs very well across the board. It can be enjoyed all by itself if you want as well. We'll do a quick tasting note and then I'll let you go. So I already mentioned the nose, right? Yeah, you got lavender, you got a little gingered honey, you got a little bit of ginger, as well as some white flowers, some dandelions. And then, creeps in with some white peaches, apricots, even a little bit of melon. Honeydew kind of comes to my mind. But lots and lots of peaches in there. Stone fruits galore in this guy. On the palate, very light, bright, crisp, very dry. Salivating while I'm talking. Having to smack my lips a little bit to get some saliva going there. Lots of melons. I get a little lemon zest, a little bit of Meyer lemon. Get a little bit more of those white flowers, more of that gingered honey, and definitely some of those white peaches and melons and nectarines. So just a very beautiful wine, very balanced as well. They don't tamper with it a lot because it's a very great growing area for the grape, so they kind of leave it alone. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about the wine or about real estate, feel free to reach out to me or the Kai team. Happy to talk with you anytime. Thanks so much. Have a great day.